Okay, we'll start with public speaking. TJ Calabrese.
Good evening.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Good evening. Francis Bach, trustee clerk, members of the East Hampton Town Trustees. Thank you for giving me a couple of minutes to speak this evening. My name is TJ Calabrese. I represent East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue this evening. I come before you this evening to ask the East Hampton Town Trustees to approve life-saving signs educating the public about rip currents. These signs are to be placed on already existing EMS signposts located on the beaches in the town of East Hampton, including the signs within trustee jurisdiction in Amagansett. There's 33 EMS signposts between Indian Wells Beach, starting the orange signs, 1A, all the way to the Montauk line, 33A, and all between. The rip current signs are 18 inches by 18 inches and will be affixed to the existing signs located south of the primary dune from East Hampton to Montauk. East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue is an organization that promotes water safety and believes that this is another step in making the beaches in East Hampton Town as safe as they can be. Larry Cantwell, Supervisor, Town of East Hampton, has already approved the signs located outside of trustee jurisdiction. I also have a map, if anybody would like to see a map where those signs are located. If you do, I have it. It's in the town.
Are you going to put them with the existing numbers?
I'm sorry?
You're going to put them with the...
Yes, they're going to be affixed to the...
Where the numbers are?
Yes, correct. They're going to be on the same post.
Where the identifications of the entrances are.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
That's right, yeah.
So East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue looks forward to working with the East Hampton Town Trustees to make the waters of East Hampton a safe place for our residents and visitors. If you have any questions?
No, I'd like to make a motion that we approve this. I think it's a great idea.
And I'd like to second it.
You've done a great job.
Great. One other thing, does anybody, in relation to a couple of weeks ago, the rip current signs to be placed in Beach Hampton, if there's any questions, I can also answer anything there also.
I think we pretty much know it was a matter of placement. We understand the saving component is actually that
TORP. Right.
And
correct.
the signage I had no problem with, but I think to kind of make everybody a little more comfortable, we'll certainly ask that it be moved over to the side. And of course, if my colleagues have anything to say about it, that would.
DJ, who's going to maintain them?
The association.
Pardon?
The association. The beach. What is the name of their association? Okay. Yeah, they're going to. And those three particular signs will be installed in May and removed at the end of the season, probably the end of September. The association is going to do that, and they're going to maintain the signs.
And they're not in the way of beach driving?
They're not in the way in beach driving. They're actually right when you come over the boardwalk.
Right.
And if you'd like to place them, I know you said a little bit to the side. Absolutely fine.
I think the complaint was partially about the size of them. Can you tell me exactly what the dimensions of those signs are?
That particular sign was 24 by 30.
Okay.
Okay.
And how high was it?
Well, it'll be about this high. Remember, the sign, looks huge, but
Right.
it has to go into, the ground 3 feet.
Right. But once it's in the ground, what's the height on it?
We would probably keep it at a height of 8 feet, because remember, you have to read, this is going to be here, and you need to be able to read it. We're not going to have it super high.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be kind of at, the middle of the sign.
These are the ones in the association?
Excuse me?
In the association?
In the association.
Okay.
And the reason why those particular signs are on 4x4 posts is because we need to affix the rescue torp.
No, I think those things are great.
Geez, you know, this is the same community just a few years ago.
Okay.
2
Any
feet
questions?
around.
I don't.
Yeah, we got a
You made a motion?
Second, no, we didn't vote.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for your service.
Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak? No? Yes? Come on up.
Hi, my name's Mark Mendelman. I'm on the agenda for the 3 Mile Harbor Marina. If you want to talk about that now, I'm happy.
Sure.
Mark, is this a follow-up on your last visit?
Yes. Do I need to discuss it with anyone, or anyone have any questions
It
on
was,
This should be a,
Oh, this is a continuation
yeah, this is
of the work that you're doing,
It's a renewal,
a renewal, yeah.
and the dock and piling maintenance permit is also a renewal in effect. So it's 2 renewals.
okay, well, it was turned over to the committee for 3 Mile.
Right.
Does anybody have anything to report?
Yes, and I remember last year, rather than making a 5-year permit, which we don't do, each year they would come in as they're doing now. You recall, Tim?
Yeah.
And everything's in kind, and I would
Correct.
just make a motion that we accept this and let them proceed.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. You too.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay. Guess we'll move on to new business. Accabonacar Creek, we have an application from Clearwater Beach Property Owners Association for maintenance dredging. Let's see. I have a letter here from Diane asking that we withhold decision on that.
I got an email from Tyler asking the same.
Okay.
What is the reason?
That both of them are on that committee, excuse me, and neither are here.
Okay.
But this is something that gets done pretty much annually.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to hold these folks up because,
what's their time frame for actually doing the work?
They usually need to get it done by January. Now, keep in mind, I think they have an application either in or it's pending to be in to increase the volume of dredging that they're doing, because apparently with this last storm,
right.
what's going on down there, that inlet is so shoaled up, you can't even get a boat in and out of it right now.
It gets like, it's been like that.
No, but I guess it's this
Even
year.
worse.
This year, it's worse earlier than it has been. And the thing that I think everybody's realizing is that maybe to get the whole season out of this, they need to take a little more sand. Now, coincidentally, the town has told them that they need to deposit that sand down at Lionhead. And if you've been down to Lionhead, it's pretty eroded down there. They really desperately need the sand.
But I
So-
believe that would be our call, right?
Well, this is what Natural Resources
Which I'm not
has
opposed
asked them
to,
to
but-
do, but it's a common sense thing. I think it makes
Yeah.
perfect sense
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
case.
But our next meeting is not that far away now, right?
Yeah,
So Diane and I will be back, it's only like a week from now, right?
yeah, and Jim couldn't be here tonight. He said it wasn't terribly urgent, but they really would
No, we
like
should
to
get-
get it.
Get it next week, maybe?
Prioritize it.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it should be tabled. but
Diane has a couple-
Also asked, not vote on it tonight.
Okay. The other thing I might mention too, and correct me if I'm wrong, that sand that's taken out, they actually pay us for that sand.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
So if this sand's gonna go down to Lionhead, is that something that we're going to, you know, we're not gonna be charging anybody, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Is it going on private property?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
Lionhead is a private association.
okay.
they can work those details out themselves.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, maybe they can, Lionhead can pay them.
I'm just thinking
Or
about
they
the
share-
revenue.
Or they share the
Okay.
cost.
we get, we just get a certain number, right? And what they
Seven.
do with it's up to them.
Well, I think the positive side, if we're getting a certain number, they're asking to take more sand out.
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
what?
Diane has a
7
few
something?
questions, and one of them is about the
cubic
fees for the sand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
we'll
we can
wait.
hash that out at the next meeting.
I would hope that before too long, they bite the bullet and realize they're gonna have to dredge, not just excavate, but get a dredge in there. Fills up, fills up, fills up. Next time.
Okay, next thing we have is Georgia Capon's, a notice of the Village ZBA hearing application for Summer House 30 LLC for variances for zoning and wetlands permit in accordance to freshwater, Chapter 163, to remove vegetation, grading, planting vegetation, altering retaining walls within 125 and 150 feet of wetlands. 110-foot variance is required from section 278.3 to permit alterations to an existing retaining wall located 40 feet from the wetlands where 150-foot setback is required. Someone's going to have to look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
What body of water is that on?
Georgica.
Okay.
We can,
And then also, there's an application from the Maidstone Club for variances, freshwater wetlands, a special to clear vegetation, construct a wood bridge over Hook Pond, install gravel paths, and make alterations to a tee box. A freshwater wetlands permit and variances are required.
Going to require a visit also.
Yep. Okay, so we'll turn this over to the committee. This hearing, was today. So,
is there any way that we can get this stuff before we have a meeting?
from the village, we're going to have to work on that one.
Well, I mean, did we just receive this today?
I'm just seeing it. Do you know when we got this, Lori?
There should be a date on it.
It's not
On the
stamped.
top. On this, it's not stamped?
No.
Well, we have one in the office that's stamped.
But
It's dated September 23rd, but I don't know when we got it.
It was late, I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like the first part of this month. Yeah, yeah.
Are they going to need to get a trustee permit for this bridge and work?
If they want to construct a bridge, I would think so.
Well, it's,
And we have not gotten an application from them for that work?
No.
No,
Do we know who the agent is for them on this?
No, it's not stated in here.
Okay. All right, we'll have to do a little homework.
Lazy Point, Napeak,
oh,
application.
you missed one.
What'd I miss? Oh, an application for V. Casmer Lambert for Phragmites control.
That's a new one.
I don't,
New
do we have an application?
Yeah,
Oh, because I don't have it.
yeah, we do. And, yeah.
Is it from Bruce?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't have it.
Francis,
Yes.
just to back up for a second with regards to the village where we kind of overlap our jurisdictions, could we please have, would you please, as the clerk, reach out to Frank Newbolt and explain to him the importance?
I will.
Thank you.
Okay. Lazy Point, application to Devin Yacht Club for maintenance dredging.
Yes, this seems to be the
Should read-
same,
it's a-
Jim.
Just the same thing we did last year.
Yep. And there was one thing that Diane had brought up last year And I did send her an email to have her remind me what it was that bothered her. And, yeah,
Last year, the issue was,
they were piling up sand
now,
outside the entrance. And this is what I'm talking about. They were piling up sand on the outside of the entrance and building it up, and apparently to use it to excavate from. And then at the end, they take it away, around.
no, they don't take it away. It gets
They
spread on
leave
the,
it.
it gets spread
Right.
on the beach there.
It comes back up out of the water.
Yeah,
So I don't see a problem with that.
yeah.
Now, was there something else that you
No,
were?
the last year, the big issue she had was updating the surveys. She didn't like the dates on the surveys, that the baseline data she felt was outdated. And in truth, I think the surveys actually had been updated.
Well, these are.
Look at the list of updates.
Yeah. No, I think she was looking for the baseline data to be updated, but
I myself am fine with this.
okay, I thought it was fine, too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are we ready to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion to accept this.
So I would like to second it then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is just annual maintenance dredging.
You have an updated survey, though, on it, or?
Yeah.
It's October 2015.
Okay, we're still at Lazy Point?
Application of Lazy Point Neighborhood Association shoreline fencing, Lot
Yes.
26N.
And George Aldi is not here, but Mr. Priori is, and their secretary, Mary Krogan. And that's a little bit confusing to me. Who's doing this?
This is your association, correct? Correct. This
She's the secretary. We had,
okay, and we had a discussion about this
Several.
months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and what I would like to propose is, one, that we accept the application, we collect $175 fee that encompasses the properties included in this operation.
Well, I'm only seeing one lot listed.
No, I thought this is multiple lots.
We hadn't-
No, there's some added things here that out.
Lot 26N.
No, it goes from
Yeah, but there's,
two all the way up to 26.
Not in the application. It just says lot 26.
yeah, it does,
Right.
it is a little confusing in the application. I think if we just add the 2-26.
Oh, okay.
so, yeah, now I know why the yellow line goes
Now you
straight
want- now
across
you want-
everything.
Yeah, okay, good.
Good.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing about one fee for everybody, and if I'm not being too presumptuous, is that because they're...
It's on our property.
It's on our property?
It's on trustee property.
Right.
It's an association project,
Okay.
so, and it's a good project.
Submit a check
Yeah.
for 100, yes. It's 100.
I'm not opposed to it, I'm just talking about it. Okay.
I think it's a terrific thing. We've talked about this, as Jim said, a couple of different times,
Well, we
along with your...
didn't discuss the fee schedule. Mary came to us we had a separate meeting about this some months ago. And it's a good idea. I mean, the goal here is to actually increase the height and breadth of the dune out in front there. I mean, as you know, Mary's property in particular over the last several years has been jeopardized by the water. They had the dredging, there's a bunch of sand on the beach. It's a good time to catch the wind-blown sand. They've been fortunate enough to be able to get the neighborhood behind this, and I think we should, as an investment in our own properties, do everything we can to encourage it.
No, I have three questions. Do you want to say,
I'm just here to respond to anything
Okay.
that you might need.
I see you have Stephen Schott, he's a marine botanist, to work with you. One of the things that's mentioned in here is that in the past,
Get this shit.
it's in your box, that in the past, they put a half-size fence. What is that all about?
One of the property owners, just to save some money, under a separate permit application, submitted last winter, for which they received a permit from this body. To save some money, they cut their 4-foot fence in half, and this endeavor for them was a little experiment. And lo and behold, the 2-foot fence, which they set out in the structure that's customary, captured a tremendous amount of sand. So we just mentioned the fact that it was very effective even at the half height. There's so much wind accretion. I think the contractor that hauled most of the sand from the roadway said there was approximately 30 yards of sand that blew up off of the Trustee public beach.
We're redoing the shoreline fence. I still like the 4-foot fence in terms of.
Well, your
being
intention
part of
is
the-
to use 4 foot.
Of course,
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
All right. Wooden posts.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, I know what my question was. When we met with Marcy, we talked a couple of times, and the fences were going to go in this early summer, build up the sand, and at this time of year, the grass was going to go in.
I think we
No,
decided
no,
we
there
were going
was
to
no
walk
set,
that
there was
back
no
to
set.
phase one.
There was no set schedule on any plantings. I think it was more, there was some people that were at that meeting that wanted to plant, all they wanted to do was go out in the dunes, dig up beach grass and plant them in their yards. And I think we all agreed at that meeting that there's first steps here. The first step is getting the snow fence in. I think there was, Mary, we spoke, a little more time was needed to get everybody on board with this thing and make it happen. I'm glad.
But I think one of the things that you said, that's what made me think of this, is that if the grass goes in earlier than October, it has to have roots. If it doesn't, it can go in bare root.
Goes in after, let's say, the first frost, it can be bare root up to about April 1st. After that time, you have to do rooted plugs. We haven't gotten to that point
No.
yet.
No,
So,
we're seeing if we can develop substrate.
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead with it. It sounds great. Is everybody on board?
Been talking about this for a while. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And make the motion?
Okay, the only question I have is it just for lot 26?
no.
No.
it's-
No, I'll
it's-
correct
we
that.
Just amend the application to do
All right.
2-26. It's all of
Okay.
those lots.
So is there a second?
Yes, haste made waste, sorry, folks.
Okay.
No, I'm real
I
happy
understood
to
what
know
you were
that.
looking for. The other stuff that you sent.
Yeah, the
was pretty
graphics,
clear.
yeah.
You're looking for a second?
I am.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Many thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one,
Did the Prioris have anything to add to that, or anything else going on down there? I'm sorry.
next one's a little confusing to me. Excuse me. We have a letter from Ann Bennett. Hi, all. I'm building a house at 92 Bull Path. In order to access this property, we need to use Crooked Highway, which is owned by town trustees. This road is severely damaged by an individual that lives next to Crooked Highway, but who should not have had access. We have addressed this issue a few years ago, but now the road is beyond disrepair. I have personally paid to have someone add RCA to the major holes so everyone can actually use the road temporarily. The concern I have with this road is not only does it need to be repaved, but also it appears not to be wide enough to give any emergency vehicles down it. In case of a fire, we would have a problem. We cannot remove any trees, widen the road, or replace, because it is owned by the trustees, not the individuals who have access to their homes. Any suggestions? There are 5 individual homes that have access to this, plus 2 lots owned by the town. It is probably the prettiest section of White Pines in East Hampton. Thanks so much for your time. My first question is, if she's building a house at 92 Bull Path, why does it access through Crooked Highway? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
You wanna step up to
So
the
why
mic,
does it access,
My actual tax code is, tax thing is 92 Crooked Highway.
okay,
And I've actually talked to, I guess it was Town Hall, because I think they want to change it to Bull Path, because as my father owned the property.
okay,
And as it was subdivided, they assigned everybody Bull Path. So everybody's Bull Path. It's a private road owned by trustees, which is
Right.
Crooked Highway.
right,
But all my neighbors are Bull Path, and I'm
Okay.
92 Crooked Highway.
okay,
So when I talked to the town, they said probably, once I finish, I should be 92 Bell Path. I don't care, I kind of like Crooked Highway, but it is confusing. If you try to
Yeah.
GPS, people can't find
But you
me.
take your access off of Crooked Highway.
Excuse me, I do, and the road is basically Crooked Highway.
So, do you have an easement with the trustees?
I think so, yeah, we were
Okay.
talking
Yeah,
about
I
the
spoke with
highway.
Ann a
We
little
spoke,
bit.
yeah.
And we talked about trying to get the background information organized.
Yeah.
If there's 5 homeowners, do we have 5 easements in place with the trustee board for access?
Ryan, are you on?
And I'm not
112?
sure, I mean, I
And
just
You on
inherited this
112?
property, so I'm not,
Boilerplate,
Yeah.
Page
are they the
112.
Trying to figure it all
boilerplate
out is the-
easements?
And
that we
then
become
134.
familiar
You need
with?
to see them both.
yeah, so I just didn't know, number one, I wanted to do the right thing. I'm the last one coming in, no one else can build, and the road was put in probably 30 years ago by my uncle and my dad, so it's a mess anyway. So it needs to be repaved, but in the meantime, I didn't want to just form an association, get repaved if it's not wide. I mean, is there a code to how wide it should be? I mean,
Well, there's probably somewhere, there's an easement that was issued by the trustees for the subdivision in the
Okay.
first place.
There
And there's
is.
probably,
there is one?
Yeah, there
Okay.
is.
and there's probably language in that subdivision. Typically, that language, from what I understand, it puts the maintenance upon the homeowner.
And that's what you said, yeah, I wasn't
Yeah,
sure. I didn't
and,
know what it should be. Okay.
You know, but there typically, there's meets and bounds, there's limits, widths and stuff, and if those widths find themselves below what an emergency vehicle can have, you will have a problem with your homeowner's insurance.
That's what I'm
So we're
concerned.
probably gonna need to if that be the case, we'll probably need to reconcile that somehow.
It's not just a narrow road, but it makes a 90-degree
Yeah,
turn.
crooked
So
highway.
exactly. My crew couldn't even bring the trucks down. They had to stay out in Bull Path, and then I had to pay people to bring it in. So if they couldn't get in, that was kind of a red flag.
And if you wanted to meet over at the office sometime, perhaps we
Sure.
could go through the file and
Sure.
try and get
That would be great, yeah.
organized to have a better discussion.
Yeah, and I thought your idea was good to form an association. I am the last one. I'm the only local one that really is compassionate compared to the rest of the neighbors aren't even there. Like if I try to call a meeting in the winter, they're probably not going to be there, but I probably in the spring could work on something. I just didn't know how to move forward.
How wide is the trustee?
It's,
Well, I don't know. You know, what happens
you
is,
can't pass
the
two cars.
trustee road might be 30 feet, it might be 50
Yeah.
feet,
We
We try
whatever.
to keep it
But-
as natural as
But
possible.
typically what happens
but
is you
there
give
are-
somebody an easement at a given dimension or whatever across the land. So, you know, sometimes if this is an old easement, it could be a dimension that to today's standards is impractical, in which case, A, we may need to reconcile the document. B, we may need to go out to the site, and if there's gonna be some removal of trees, because I know the area, I mean, there's some beautiful white pines there.
Yeah.
We may need to be very careful and selective, and I'm sure
That's my
you guys
concern.
would probably like to see it kept
We don't
as,
want,
as
you know,
pristine as you possibly can.
We already had a
so-
problem with this neighbor that used the road. I think I addressed it with Diane a couple of years ago. He basically used our road, destroyed it, and then got to his house from a different part and took down all these white pines. And
Yeah.
I kept calling and calling. I'm good friends with Rick Whalen, so we took a little field trip together, and then finally, with some legal help, we stopped him, but he's never really replanted. So it's already been kind of
Yeah.
stirred up, and so it just breaks my heart to take down more, but we need to do something to get a truck down there, too. So I just need guidance
Right.
on how many, you know, what I can take, and,
I think a field trip down there and discussion
trip.
again with Rick,
yeah, okay.
both Ricks.
Both Ricks?
There you go.
Yeah.
Are you out in the
I
area
am
for a while?
here until Wednesday.
For
I'm
Wednesday.
coming back and forth every 2 weeks until
I'm available
I'm
Monday or
eventually retiring out here, one of the few that are actually going to come home. I've lived everywhere, and it's time to come home.
All right. Well, if you want to send me an email, I'm around Monday and Tuesday if you
Okay.
wanted to
Sounds
try
great.
to
I
get
will do
together.
that.
And
Okay.
maybe someone else would like to join
Okay.
us.
Thanks for your time.
Maybe Jim. Okay,
Thanks.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, old business. Trustees, policies and procedures on shoreline fencing.
So Rick Whalen,
Rick's going to be late, obviously. Middle Highway deed.
Rick Whalen.
Trustees' application to ZBA for wetlands permit. Have you heard anything new on that? We're still dealing with DEC, right? Bill?
The ZBA?
The trustees'
This
application.
this is for the choke point,
Yeah,
correct?
Right.
no,
On Georgica.
Bruce met with this, Bruce was at the ZBA
Right.
meeting. I don't know if they've rendered a decision.
Yeah, I don't
yet.
think he had a problem. He
No,
didn't
it-
expect a problem.
Didn't seem to be a problem. He didn't anticipate a problem.
Okay, and we can't discuss secret. Rick's not here yet. All right. Committee reports. Aquaponic dredging.
Do you want to bring that,
Yeah, while we're there, we'll talk about that.
okay?
Okay, Louse Point. We met with a couple of the homeowners down there, and they have an interest in transporting some of the sand that's on the beach from the dredging, dredge spoil, down to their part of the beach to build up in front of their houses.
We suggested they think about that after we denied their application for rocks.
Oh, this is Mullen?
Yeah, it's Mullen, well, it's Mullen and Lynch, I think, and
Right.
the other one. And.
Wilder's interested also
Yeah.
at this point.
And they called us.
Clementi down there?
Yeah.
Clementi?
Yeah, we don't know about Clementi.
He's got, Clementi has an application with the ZBA right now to put a couple of cocoa logs and a little bit of sand.
Okay.
Mr. Lynch and Mr. Mullen called us.
At their cost, right?
Oh, no, they called us and they wanted to know if we could move forward with this. So we're in the preliminary stages of trying to get everything lined up. And they were in the preliminary stages of trying to talk to a contractor and see what it was going to cost them and things like that. And basically, everything seems to line up because the Nature Preserve specifically says that the area can be used to store dredge spoil, to be moved at a later date and all this stuff. The dredging application actually included the area of the beach they want to put the dredge spoil site on it as a place where you could place dredge spoil. The only reason it wasn't placed there is because the county didn't want to keep it. Where the dredge spoil is right now is actually prone to going back in the channel. They have it right down on the, I have aerial
Yeah,
photographs
it seems like a
of it.
common sense.
Yeah, it seems like a good thing to do. So we were going to have Rick review the
The management plan?
the management plan, just to make sure we all know what we're talking about. This is basically the pile of sand I think they should utilize, and they want to put it down there. So, I mean, but it seems to me like a thing we should support.
Yeah, that's
It
why.
has
Oh,
to
yeah,
go to the
yeah.
ZBA.
Now, Clementi's the house that
Clementi's the last
used to be
one.
the old Chaliff house.
Yeah.
And it sits pretty high, and I mean,
Clementi has,
they've had,
Clementi is not part of this discussion.
no, I
we've
know,
had.
I know,
But-
even though I think Brian Frank suggested that they try and get involved in this.
Yeah,
to-
I sent them,
This was done.
after we turned the thing down, I sent them an email suggesting
That's
that
where I
they
forwarded.
look into moving like 15,000 yards of sand down there from this.
Yeah. And I think, maybe if Clemente got involved in this
I
as
think-
well, it may make the whole
okay.
core
I have
fiber.
a feeling that if we
move.
start working on it with
sense in the
Mr., if the two neighbors get permission to do this, I'm sure Mr. Clemente
Is
will.
that enough sand to meet the need? of
This-
those two
It's actually,
projects?
it'd actually be kind of nice, because you'd actually be able to get a pretty good shingle at the base of the
You see,
bluff.
I mean, if you go down there right now, you can actually see the elevation on this
No,
thing.
I'm familiar.
Yeah,
with it.
and it's, and the sand that's down here is just gonna go offshore and go right back in the channel.
Fill it back up.
So if we take this sand and put it down here,
It's like sending it to Montauk.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, it's-
so, anyway, to move this forward, You've already met with the homeowners?
He called us up on,
We had a-
he called us last Friday, wanted to discuss it informally.
We just went down and
Saw him Saturday
walked through
morning.
it, looked at it together. and-
He told him we'd have, it'd have to go to the ZBA thing, we'd have to get trustee permission, he'd have to figure out the costs involved, and we'd have to figure out what how much, what the fee would be for the sand. And
Where are you on the dredging?
the dredging, they're still sending somebody out to
Do the soundings?
do the sounding, yeah. And I guess we'll get them some samples.
We've
And-
waited a long time for those soundings.
Yeah. I guess we could do them ourselves if they'll accept them. Try and
Okay to
get
reach
that
out to
next
them, though?
week. Yeah,
Reach out to them and see
yeah.
if
I tried to call George Hammer today. I left him a message that I wanted to speak to him about a couple issues. And I haven't
Good,
heard back,
Bill.
so-
We've been calling the DEC over several issues, and we're not getting a very quick response, if at all.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep
That's
pushing on him, I guess. We actually met with, there's some more conversation going on. I think the dredging permit for Georgica was modified. There was some problems where they weren't sure where the thing was. And, with this last opening, it looks like we want to do some more work on, when we do the dredging, we want to get the interior shaped up a little bit more. So the pond dredges, the pond empties out better.
Well, I thought that was the goal of this.
Yes, but the DEC was apparently looking upon it more as a sand mining operation than they were looking upon it as a project to benefit the pond. So I think we've got that,
Yeah, I saw some
We've
of the
got that
emails
resolved.
going back and forth, hopefully.
yeah. And, but this is a project that I would like to move, trying to get this sand
We've
moved at
always
Last
said a
Point.
soft approach is what we
Yeah,
wanted. and
I think this is an
all for it.
opportunity for us to if we can demonstrate that a large enough scale soft solution will work, this is the spot to do it. And I think, once we get it to move, we might want to put some additional sand down there. We want to, make it wider.
So are we combining that with the dredging?
The dredging's going to have nothing,
Is it
it'll
two
leave a
different
little more.
It
applications?
is.
It's different.
There's enough there right now.
Oh, there's
to meet the needs of
three
these
huge
projects.
dredge jobs down there right now.
Which is
You-
good news.
Yeah.
Where are they going to ask that the dredge spoil go when we do dredge?
Well, when we do dredge, we'd like it to be, we'd like the dredge spoil to be as far south on Louse Point as they can possibly do it.
Yeah.
But,
But no,
They'll have to put it where the dredge spoil spot is.
yeah, but you know what, that's
right?
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay, because
it
you know
back
what,
where
I
you
mean,
took it from?
if this
That's where
works with the homeowners
That's
down
where
that
they
way,
want to.
the next time the
I mean,
area is
that's where they
dredged,
wanna take it
more than
from,
likely,
but
they're gonna have a
they
need for
dredge,
sand
they're gonna have
again.
to put it in
yeah,
the same
it's
spot.
gonna be a continuous need. If,
Be okay for now?
once, I think
Further
they were
down,
trying
so
to
Mulford
assess the
Lane
costs of,
better.
what the costs of moving the sand, but
The
you would know better than,
Take it down.
It's gonna be a heck of a lot cheaper to move that sand
yeah.
along the beach, because the nice thing is you'll be a,
Yeah, and it's a matter of moving it about probably 1,500 feet.
yeah, and I mean, what you can do is you can get an off-road truck
South.
down there, they can move a lot of sand fast, it's gonna
Yeah.
be very cost-effective for the
Yeah, I-
homeowners down there.
I was calling George, I called George because I wanted to see what we had to do, what the homeowners had to do, and to get this thing moving.
We need somebody from that DEC with an office right here down. Preferably
They
over there
only
by
do that after a hurricane.
by natural resources.
They don't need it that
Kind
bad.
of like a captive,
So Mr. Mullen was going to, they were going to be leaving. Mr. Lynch was going to be calling some contractors, so we'll probably have a little more to discuss at the next meeting. But conceptually, I think everybody's in favor of us moving forward and being as cooperative as possible.
All right.
Yeah, further south we get it, the better.
The beach
Yeah.
clamp, that was Tyler, right?
Yeah.
That's Tyler, so we're
Okay.
gonna have
Hey,
to table
yeah.
that.
George, Francis, could we
Yeah.
just back up to Lazy Point once more? I
Sure.
did get a letter from Dave Sealer a week or so ago. He'd like to do some he'd like to do some removal of some invasives to the west side of his house and then replant with some native plantings down there. I did get down and look at it. It's pretty benign what he's looking to do. I did speak to Kim Shaw. She didn't feel that it required a natural resources permit. The only thing that she did bring up, and I was unaware of, is it is that neighboring piece to him is the public access, one of the public accesses down there. And the only thing, that I saw as a issue was make sure that we don't, as part of
Block
this
it.
revegetation,
block
yes,
it. Well,
that we
yes,
don't
yes.
impinge on that public access, which I did speak to him. He said that was fine.
So he wants to get rid of some of the invasives and put what in?
Put the same plants. It's bayberry, it's beach plum. I think he was looking to put a couple of American hollies in there, or cedars. All of them, I think, would be appropriate to the area.
I think it's all good.
Is he supposed to put
And,
it
and, and having,
Well, you know what, I told him I would bring it up tonight.
Yeah.
If everybody, if it sounds agreeable to everybody,
Absolutely.
he'll do an application.
Yeah, he should just do the application. I don't think he's gonna run into any problems.
Okay,
Yeah.
because being that
As
we're
long
gonna-
as he doesn't
So we have the
impede into
record.
the.
being that we're gonna have a meeting in a
and he
week,
knows not to.
we can maybe get it approved and on the
Good.
agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, the access is the only issue that we,
Yep,
anything.
okay.
All right, Georgica, Phragmite control applications, One Association Road, nothing?
I don't believe we have anything.
We haven't
new
gotten
there.
anything new. Ackerman, we haven't gotten anything new.
Okay.
Um,
The dredging and excavation, we are still dealing with the DEC on that. Oh, this is a good place to talk about that.
When the pond was really empty, I went down and took some pictures, and there's some serious sandbars. East of where we did the cut, there's a sandbar that goes out a couple thousand feet, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's impressive, I mean.
It's huge.
And we were also wondering if it would make sense, perhaps, the pond closed up after like 4 days, if it would make sense to reopen it.
What Bill and I are thinking is.
What, if it closes?
No, it
Oh, it's
did.
closed now.
Closed, it closed
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We would like to hire Del Collum to do some aerial shots of the two bottlenecks and the sandbar area down there. And add those to the applications, and maybe then they will have a better understanding of what we're trying to do there.
Well, I think, can I tell what the only thing that's gonna happen when we do that is, the reality is the amount of sand that we've got a permit in for, I think, is not even close
It's a drop in the bucket.
to
Right.
what needs to come out of there.
Yeah.
And I
Those
don't,
shoals.
and I think it would be, I think the pictures would be helpful, but I think more importantly is to have a meeting with the DEC,
We-
our agents, and natural resources.
We've been attempting to do
and
that.
try and get all together in one place, because I really, my concern with this is, okay, we're gonna get the permit, but then we're gonna realize well, not almost, we realize now that it's not enough, and we're gonna find ourselves a little like Clearwater Inlet or something like that, where, okay, we're gonna take the 12,000 yards
I
out,
think that's what it
and we're still not gonna be able to keep that pond open long enough to really do anything effective. So, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we need to take more.
But are you guys okay with doing another opening just to get some more of that water out to get a better
Better
shots?
There's still a lot of water behind?
It emptied pretty well, but it's certainly not at the lowest it's ever
I
been.
think that.
No, it's not at the
Really
lowest
not.
it's ever
Well, the
been.
thing is, you're not gonna get it to the lowest it's
Yeah.
ever been because of that shoaling.
Yeah, how much
Right.
more can we really get with the shoaling there, I think is
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. I'm in favor of it.
I mean, till we get the shoal out there, forget it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm in
we haven't
fa-
been
I'm in
able to touch
favor of
that in, 2 years, 3
All right.
years.
All right, so we'll just do the aerials without opening. Okay.
We didn't talk about the beach cleanup.
Yeah,
Right.
That's Tyler's project, he's not
Okay, I
here.
didn't
Now,
know.
wait a minute,
Well,
why not open?
Okay.
The belief is that we're not
I
going
don't
to get
want to
it out.
waste, yeah, I don't want to waste,
For us to do a couple of.
you know, if we're not going to get any
cleanups
water out of it
throughout
by
the
opening.
year.
There's a lot of shoaling there, which is impeding.
He was
Is there a
gonna-
chance of
Clean
opening
flow.
it deeper?
Oh,
Does that
definitely.
make sense?
Well, the
Yeah,
problem is, you get a situation like this. You got what we excavate out here, okay? And then it goes like this. It goes right back up on the other side. So we're excavating this out. It drains until it hits the height of that. This is, it's a few hundred feet, isn't it, to this, to that shoal from where we're opening it?
There's a little channel, so to speak. There's a little channel
Yeah,
going to it.
yeah, but it's not right there. It's
I
not
mean,
like
when
you
the-
just keep
when
digging the
pond-
channel.
When the pond first opened up, it went a lot drier than it is right now.
Yeah.
All those shoals are sticking right out.
Because it might be the
Yeah.
one chance
you know,
to get good photos.
It clogged,
Yeah.
where
So
it
what,
clogged.
Francis, what's it cost us for us to open that thing up?
I think it's, I don't know if it's 1,000 or 2,000, say 1,500.
I'd like to make a motion to open it again.
Good, I'd second it.
All in favor?
All right.
All right.
All right, I'll talk to him.
I'm gonna pick the right time and
Yeah, have Colin ready as soon as that thing drains.
Yeah, when the ocean is low tide and preferably calm, that's what I was told caused that great rush of water to come out of Georgia. Actually, Danny Shields told me that.
Oh, it was a great, he did a great job with it. It was one of the
I saw-
best.
I saw the video.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, Danny's done it
we have all
before.
kinds of
Oh, yeah.
videos and
It
stuff.
was moving fast.
Do you need a motion for the pictures?
It's a couple
I
$100.
mean,
I think
it's
we
going to
should.
run between 250 and 500.
Yeah, I don't have a
I'd like-
problem with it. I'm just-
Make a
You making a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Harbor management.
Now, you got MMR Real Estate and you got Klein.
Oh, okay.
MMR Real Estate is, they're trying to get this permit up again. There's one question on the Briar Patch property that they have there. Apparently, there's a little, I think you'd call it a dock, that goes from the shoreline out through the Phragmites. And they have sent us a letter asking if the applicant could keep that. But if it looks like a dock,
It is
and you
a dock.
stand on it
Looks
like
like
a
a dock.
dock, it's a dock. And I think what the applicant's agent is looking into now is whether in fact there was ever a dock there, which would be the, we discussed this, would be the only way that you could keep that structure in place.
So Jim, you're waiting to get that
He's
date?
going to, Jim's going to research it. He was not going to be here tonight, and
Doesn't show up on our inventory, does it?
I don't think it shows up on, he hasn't had a chance to do any research on it, and Rick just called me about this yesterday, so he apologized for not calling you back.
No, it's all good. I know you were calling him.
Okay, and Klein?
I don't know
Are they
anything.
notifying that they're complete, or we haven't,
They have an application.
they have an application in that was approved?
Okay.
Oh, they've completed the work, Lori?
Yeah, either that or it's gone.
Or that one?
Yeah.
So someone
Or
should
they're
go down and
working
take a
there.
look at
We'll
it?
go by there and look at
Yeah,
it.
we've got a few visits, it looks like.
Okay. Okay, now harbor management.
Harbor management. We have a meeting scheduled for October 26th. Ed Michaels is going to be doing some safety training as the members are on the water and in the field. Mr. Michaels felt it was important and actually required for the members to be trained, and he would like to see all the trustees trained if you have not already been trained in another capacity. So there may be a schedule forthcoming for everyone to be trained. If anyone's going to be in attendance at the meeting,
Yeah. What time is the meeting, and it's at the art building?
at the Land Building at 6 p.m. on the 26th. I have also received what I would call applications for 2 new members that would like to join the Harbor Management Committee. The current 2 members are involved in more field observation and reporting, Adam and Will. Duck blinds and looking at the ramps and other things. And the 2 new members, Jim Cafaro and David Ells, would like to be more involved in an environmental capacity, focusing more on dredging and maybe some habitat restoration and or research. So I have a bio from Jim tonight if anyone would care to take a look at it. And I can also email these around to everyone. And David will have one submitted this weekend for review. And either tonight or maybe at the next meeting after everyone's taken a look at it, I'd like to at some point make a motion for the clerk to be able to appoint 2 new members to the Harbor Management Committee.
Have we appointed any more?
No.
And what's the cap?
The current cap is 3.
Okay.
But since the current group is really focusing on one area, we're not really covering the whole breadth of the original charter that was part of Tim's original resolution several years ago. And there's also so much more going on now with the environment.
What's the new cap?
Well, I'd like to see it be 4 members, so
Okay.
adding one member.
Would 5 make more sense to do now,
we would
just to keep?
Have to set up a resolution to do that.
Yeah, so maybe I can prepare that this week and be prepared to bring it before the board at the next meeting.
Because there seems to be a whole universe of areas of people that want to get involved.
Community
there.
Oh,
interest.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a
There's a lot of
growing
stuff.
area.
So maybe
I
we
think,
should
you
just-
started something good, Tim.
Maybe
The only
we
thing I
should-
would say about Jim Caforo's thing here, I don't think it would be perhaps appropriate for him to weigh on dredging, say, in clear water if he's still going to be a board member.
Well, they don't vote on anything. It's
It's
an
an
advisory
advisory.
committee.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
They're
real
bringing
no-
things
there's
to our
really no
attention.
conflict.
Just a thought. All right, that's fine.
No, it's,
Okay.
But,
you
they
think-
both seem pretty flexible and
board
very
member.
interested in the environment, so, I'm sure they'd work with us,
Yeah.
in an appropriate manner, Brian.
Advisory.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, it means he's going to try and influence things in his favor for the Clearwater Association, but so what? He's a voice for
can handle
Clearwater.
that.
It's a voice for Clearwater.
They've been involved in dredging for
Yeah,
a while,
I
so it
think
may
it's
not be a
good for
bad
them.
thing.
No, I think it's good for them to have a voice.
And it's
here.
not complicated stuff. No. We're doing up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think there are any other people that might be, we should make it a 5-member board?
I think having the cap at 5 wouldn't hurt, so if we get a new applicant or someone that brings a specialization, that could really help. We have the flexibility, so I think that'd be a good idea. That's the way I'll try and word it and bring it before everyone next Monday.
all right. That brings us to 3 Mile Harbor. We did the marina. An application from PND Hamptons LLC, Feeney.
Just to follow up, I did the research last time. They did a great job, in kind, replaced the dock. The sheathing was the only thing that I didn't see on the permit, and Lori Wilshire, I think she alluded to the fact that it was an oversight. I don't think it was done intentionally. It looks great. I would, at this point, I'd make a suggestion to the clerk that he just reach out to Rambo and remind him in the future that, any aspect of the bulkhead we need to know about. I think it was overlooked, and I would make a motion that we accept it so they could get their CO. I think that's what they're waiting on.
Yeah. So we have an as-built survey then?
In the folder.
Yeah.
I believe we do have everything. But again, what was in question was, I think they got into the job and said, wow, we got to replace this sheathing, and they didn't think about us at that point,
But they did it.
but they did it.
But they're
Okay,
above
that's
the
what I'm
mean
trying
high
to say.
water.
Yeah.
We don't,
Yeah.
They
we
submitted
don't,
the full application.
our jurisdiction
sorry?
is.
They submitted their application and the surveys in place.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, we have to accept the job as complete now?
As complete.
You saw the as-built?
No, this is,
You
this is.
positive?
And
I'm only asking because what I have here is a copy of a survey. Okay, yeah, this would be the as-built.
Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Good.
And I got to tell you, it looks beautiful. It really looks
It's good.
first class. They did a
good
great
that
job,
it's-
Rambo, with the
it's
dolphin
good that it's above
pilings and
So there's no
really looks
conflict of
good.
interest.
And they use that plastic now, that resin
Right.
for the walkway, the dock. And that's all,
Glass back.
and it's all spec'd out in the permit application. But I do feel that, we should just drop them a line and let them know that they missed us when they did the sheathing.
All right, you've made a motion.
Yeah, to accept.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll accept that as completed. Paddle Diva,
Okay, the ZBA heard this for a very long time, and it was pretty exciting. Rick Whalen represents Paddle Diva, so he doesn't represent us. However, I'll pass this around. This is the old Shagwong Marina, and this is the water. Just picture that. That's the water. There is some evidence that they have paddles, Rick,
paddle boards.
paddle boards,
Right, paddle boards.
things that I can't stand up on, out there on high water, which means they're probably not
It
on our
appears that
property.
it's outside of our,
I understand why this is a bone of contention, because this is the channel. It's right at the beginning of the channel. Serious boating goes on, and here comes somebody paddleboarding. But that's not our business.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, they have all the right to be there.
yeah.
And ZBA looked at this very
Well,
seriously. So
they may not.
They're a good board, as I've said.
It's before the ZBA because there may be a change of use for the business.
well,
Yes.
the only thing is, I don't know, the way I kind of look at this is, there's a marina there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is a paddle board a watercraft?
It's
Oh, geez, this is
definitely,
what-
no,
That was
wait.
the
no.
argument.
This took
No,
hours.
I was watching.
No,
hearing-
I'm sorry, if this
Yes,
is
it
like a
is.
friggin'
No, a
airport
paddle-
that you're not
a
expecting
paddle-
any planes to land at.
Paddleboard is definitely, according to the town code, a paddleboard is a vessel.
Okay.
And they are also, they're not very close to the channel. The channel is way off there. They're in very shallow water
Yeah.
where nobody else goes. The issue that's come up with this one particular spot is there's a distinction between a recreational marina and a boatyard. So what becomes an issue is, can they store these paddleboards, which are considered vessels? I mean, if they move the operation down to East Hampton Point, it would be absolutely legal. At Shagwong being a recreational marina, I think the argument that's before the ZBA is whether the storage of these vessels is
Are the boats
appropriate.
stored, are boats stored
You
there?
can store boats in a, you can store boats in a boatyard,
Not at a marina.
but not at a recreational marine. So that's where it seems to be. But these things are definitely vessels. And I know the old trustee regulations allowed people to pull small watercraft up on the beach.
Well, they
anyplace.
can't be on the grass and all that.
No, but not on the grass, but,
But it's beach there.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks like it's public beach there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh.
I think last time we talked about seeing how the ZBA proceeded with their findings before we really weighed in on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I don't think they
I'm
have,
not sure at the end of the
I don't
day
know. I
whether
think
we
we're
do
gonna
weigh in
hash
on
this
it,
out a little
because I
more.
think it's outside of, it's not our beach there.
yeah, the boats aren't being stored on our beach.
No,
at
well,
all.
they have a little launch going on
As
down
long as on our beach, there's room for
I don't know how to
If
interpret
there
this. I
even
think it
is.
looks like it's public beach.
Yeah, but I think it's public beach. I don't think, because do we own beaches in 3 Mile Harbor?
water.
We own the
We own the
bottom.
I
bottom.
mean, not the water, the
Yeah, but I think
sand.
up to the private property lines, I believe.
Okay,
they
so
do.
if it's above the mean high water, it is,
Belongs to the marina.
belongs to the marina. Okay, so.
Well, I think the
it's-
survey delineates that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
Oh. Well,
I don't know if
tax
we've
map,
seen one.
it's kind of rough, but
That's rough.
Yeah.
on the tax map, it actually
Well,
looks,
tax maps aren't correct all the time either.
not always, but you need something to go by.
Right. Okay. So I think that does it for
Yep, it
committee
does.
reports.
Yep.
All right, administrative payment of bills.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, is it necessary to go down each one of these? Can't we just say, I make a motion that we pay the bills, or? is
Kind of
it
like
prudent-
home.
If you want to know what bills are being paid, I mean,
Well,
that's-
I
Can I
have
tell you
some,
what, Brian,
We don't want
I-
to miss one.
well, I believe it should be read into the record.
okay.
all right, the first one is from Mike DeSuno and Sons for $400. Lori, what exactly is that for?
That's for the opening in May?
Well, the
That's the
unopening.
full charge?
No, remember, we didn't open it in May, but they
Oh,
came
that's
down
right,
there.
Oh, they
okay.
took the ride down, we sent
Yeah, it
them
was
back.
travel time.
That's exactly.
They did unload the machine down.
Okay, they had
Okay.
equipment.
All right, the Independent, $250 for the clam contest ad. East Hampton Star, $570 for the same thing.
2 ads.
The Star was twice, yes. Independent once.
It's not
Optimum,
that the store is that much more expensive.
yeah. Optimum, $155.64. Staples, $195.08. Star Island Yacht Club, $316.19. Hamilton Marine, $226.70 for clam baskets for the prizes for the contest.
They were nice baskets.
Yeah. Anthony Tohill for White Sands, $4,716.25. East Hampton Marina, $814.40. Is that for the pump-out boats?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
North Fork Water Supply Corp., $33.94.
Motion that we pay the bills.
I'd like to
Second.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, the minutes from August 8th.
I have read the minutes of August 8th, and I would make a motion that we approve them.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
I wasn't here, but I did read them, and
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, I was there,
Straightforward.
but I didn't read it either.
Okay, and then we still have that final report from Norwalkie Smith.
Yeah, Diane had some concerns, so I don't want to see it approved without her here.
Okay.
And I think what her concerns were based on is that our incoming monies are some of our money that we earn from
keeping them separate.
permits and some money that the town puts into our.
Right, and,
So there's
The
a
ex-
combination of those things. yes.
right, and they're,
And she wants us spelled out, and I don't blame her. No?
they're done separately, correct, Lori? They're done, they're broken out separately. It's done by Norwalkie because they're there. We are free to get someone else, we've been through this at least twice already. We're free to get somebody else to do our own monies if we choose, or we can have the convenience of having it done by these guys
Well, we have
and
hers
rolling it
already done
into the
anyway.
money that's budgeted to us from the town to have this done.
Herzog and Little does it quarterly.
But they don't do,
No, they don't do an audit,
no, right.
they review them.
They review, but they don't do a full audit.
Yeah.
So then what's,
So we could pay for
What am I
ourselves
missing?
to break it out and do it separately and hire someone else to audit it because it's required by law. Our monies need to be audited. Or we can roll it into the Norwalkie audit.
I'd like to make a motion, we table this till the next meeting and be prepared to vote on it at that time.
Though I don't see why we would go to somewhere else when it's budgeted in.
They're
is
waiting,
that what Diane's concerned about?
I'm not sure. I
If
haven't.
Diane has concerns that she's not here, we should just table
I
it.
think we should
Right,
just table
okay.
it. You know, we don't have a full
okay,
We need a second,
quorum here anyway.
A second to what?
table it?
Jim's motion.
I'll second the table.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you table it, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, report of the clerk. Scallop season's coming, okay?
And, yeah.
I've heard, you always hear that they're thin, all right?
Yeah,
The state is opening on the 7th of November, Monday. What I'd like to propose is that we open the following Sunday on the 13th. And Sunday, because you can't use power dredges on Sundays, that will give everybody a chance to go out and get a few before the dredges hit them on Monday.
Good idea.
Sounds fair.
I like that.
Yep.
Anyone have any?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept Francis' suggestion.
And I'll be happy to second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we'll open it on Sunday this year.
So Sunday, the,
Louse Point Sand we spoke about, and Georgia Pond we spoke about.
What date on Sunday? It's 11/13.
that's when we're opening it.
That's when we're open.
Okay, correspondence, we have a letter from R. Del Mastro about the car wash in Waynscott. We'll enter that into the record at the office. And Mr. Vanderveer has sent another letter about the barge that's stuck at his marina.
Can you copy us on that? I want to know. If he's got
Copy you
anything new
on
in his
Mr.
mind.
Vanderveer?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing new. It's the same thing as last year. It's still
Haven't
sitting there.
heard Mr. Tisdale, right?
Yeah.
No,
Look, this
I know.
this man allowed Tisdale to bring it in, and now he's abandoned it, and he wants us to
I know.
take care of
Clean
it.
it up.
From his
Yeah.
parking
Clean
lot
it
for
up.
years.
It's his problem.
He's got another contractor tied up there now. Maybe we should ask him now what his relationship is with,
Does he?
Tell him you're the guys looking at property in Arizona,
yeah, we have
or Nevada, wherever Dawn went to.
Actually,
They'll be neighbors.
maybe we could get two people from the DEC station, one over here and the other at Vanderveer's. That's a
You gotta sympathize with the guy's situation, but
Look,
You know,
they're
it's-
good friends. He allowed his friend to tie up
Yeah.
there, and now his friend has left it. Whose problem is it?
well, yeah.
It's not ours.
Pick your friends better.
I mean, honestly, all he really needs is a letter from Don Tisdale
Right.
saying that he has abandoned this thing, and then he can do whatever he wants to. Yeah, yeah.
And our only interest is that the sand it sits on is ours, but once it's lifted an inch, if we went down there and said, oh, well, we'll be suckers and do it.
We could ask the
We lifted
DEC to
an
go
inch
look at it
off. Yes,
and assess it.
yep.
Yeah.
see if it's a
We'll
pollution. if
We'll
they
assign
think-
the other
all this.
DEC
Have to
guy
walk
to
through
that.
Tisdale's boatyard to get to it.
So when
Is Tisdale?
Not Tisdale,
Vanderveer?
Vanderveer's boatyard to get to it.
Well, I think probably Mr. Vanderveer would probably really welcome that at this point.
Maybe we should make that request.
No, it might help, hey, listen,
Well, that's
it's not a,
my,
it's not
Might help
malicious,
get it
it's not a
moved.
Gave
malicious.
us a
My
potential
next-
pollution
yes.
Are
problem.
we done?
my, yes.
We need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.